A boy got reincarnated with insane powers and forms a 5-girl harem around him. Hello there, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to do a recap of a harem anime with 12 episodes. Before we begin, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future recap videos. Also, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Now let's get to the recap. The story starts when a 15-year-old boy, Mochizuki Touya, is killed mistakenly by God with lightning. He meets with God and God apologizes for killing him by mistake. Touya seemed very calm and undisturbed by the fact that he was dead. God then decides to reincarnate Touya into another world where people possess magic. So God asks Touya what he wants in this new world, and Touya requests that he be permitted to bring his smartphone. God then bestows great magical power on Touya and sends him to the new world. Touya awakens in the forest in the new world and decides to go to the nearest town. He meets a merchant on the way and trades his clothes from his former world for money. Touya then goes on his way to find a place to stay in town. But he comes across two ladies that are in trouble in an alleyway. He helps them and fights off the bandit, and they introduce themselves. Lynn's Siloweska and Elle's Siloweska are surprised to learn that Touya's family name comes before his given name. So they ask him if he's from Ishin. Touya doesn't want to tell his reincarnation story, so he avoids the question. Lynn's and Elle's assist Touya in reaching the inn, and the three of them decide to form an adventurers guild. Touya realizes he can't read the words in this new world, so he asks Lynn's to teach him how to read and write. Later, Touya asks how to use magic, and the magical twins explain all the magical affinities in this new world and how to use them. Touya finds out that he can use all the magical affinities, including the rare magic affinity Null. Touya can open a dimension gate, so they can immediately go to places he has seen before. On their next mission, they ride to the royal capital to deliver a letter. And on their way there, they encounter a female samurai in trouble. They help the samurai out, and they all escape together through an alleyway. The samurai introduces herself as Kokonoe Yae, and confirms that she comes from Ishin. Yae decides to accept the trio to the royal capital to deliver the letter as thanks for saving her. Touya studies multiple null magic chants on their way there. Then they encounter a group of soldiers being attacked by lizard men. They fight off the lizard men and a wizard. Then Touya employs null magic known as apports to extract an arrowhead lodged in the butler of the attacked group. He completely heals him and is thanked by the butler's master, Sushie Ornia Ortland, the duke's daughter. The butler then pleads with Touya to accompany them to the royal castle in order to keep Sushie safe. He agrees and accompanies them to the royal capital at the Belfast Kingdom, Alephus. There, Touya meets Duke Alfred Ernest Ortland, who graciously thanks him for saving his daughter. Alfred admits that his wife is blind and that the only person with null magic who could save her is no longer alive. Touya then decides to see Ellen, the Duke's wife, and uses his null magic recovery to heal her blindness. The Duke and his family are overjoyed by Touya's actions, so they gift his team 40 platinum coins and give him their family medals. After delivering the letter, the team plans to return to Reflet Village, so Yae decides to stick with them and go on missions with them. On their next mission, Touya finds an ancient relic under the rubble, so the girls ask that they go collect this relic. They go underground and find an artificial glass spider that begins attacking them. It proves difficult to defeat the spider, but Touya later figures out its weakness and uses apports to pull a red cord out of the artificial glass spider, and then destroys it. Touya later returns to give the Duke drawings, but he learns that the Duke's brother, the king of the royal capital, has been poisoned. They rush to the king's castle, where Touya performs recovery magic on him, saving his life. Yumina Ernia Belfast, the king's daughter, is immediately awestruck by Touya and fawns over him. At 12 years old, Yumina is already head over heels over Touya. so she asks her parents to allow her to wed Touya. Touya is initially opposed, but eventually agrees when told that Yumina can stay with him until he is old enough to marry her. Back at Reflet, Yumina meets the other girls and announces their engagement to them. She then teaches Touya how to use summoning magic, and he summons a tiger spirit known as the White Monarch, and forms a pact with her by renaming her Kohaku. After some time, all 5 girls can't help but fall even more in love with Touya. Touya is then invited to the royal capital to receive a knighthood, but he declines. Instead, the king offers him a mansion, and Touya decides to live there with all the girls. Later, the Duke and his daughter visit Touya in his mansion, and they ask him to make a trip to the kingdom of Miss Mead, with whom they've allied. They later arrive at Miss Mead and are greeted by the Beast King. Later that night, Touya meets a 612-year-old fairy, Lean, who teaches him the null magic chant programmed to program objects to move or perform other actions. Lean asks that Touya become her apprentice, but he declines. Touya then opens a gate in Miss Mead to allow Belfast King to come to meet the Beast King. Later, Lean appears at the mansion and asks Touya to help her find the remaining ancient runes. She teaches him null magic called Recall, which allows him to see people's memories of places they have been to, so he can open a gate to go there. Touya then recalls Yai's memories and opens a gate to Ishin, where they discover that Yai's brother and father have both gone to war. They all proceed to the battlefield where Touya uses his power to destroy all of the undead Oni masked soldiers. Yae reunites with her family and Touya is tasked with saving the Takeda family. They proceed to the opposite half and rescue the Takeda family. As a thank you, one of the Takeda generals allows Touya to use recall on him, so they can go to the island where Lean can find an ancient ruin. Touya and his friends then have a good time on the beach. The girls are dressed in different swimsuits, each hoping that Touya will fawn over them. But Touya is completely oblivious to all of their signals. Touya then swims into the ocean and discovers an ancient ruin at the bottom. He is unable to breathe underwater, so he returns to the surface and is advised by Kohaku to summon the Black Monarch, who can assist him in breathing underwater. Touya successfully summons the Black Monarch and discovers that there are 2 of them, a snake wrapped around a turtle. He makes a pact with them and names them Sango, turtle, and Kokuyo, snake. They then assist Touya in breathing underwater, allowing him to enter the ancient ruins and be transported to the floating garden in the sky. Touya is met in the Garden of Babylon by a maid dressed only in her underwear. Touya is flustered, so he orders her to put on something, which she does, and introduces herself as Francesca, making Touya the owner of the garden. He opens a gate to let the girls into the garden, and they are all wary of Touya due to Francesca's words. Yumina then takes the other girls aside and asks them about their previous marriage discussion. The girls gathered their courage and agreed to marry Touya together. Later, to obtain Toya's genetic information, Francesca French kisses him and mixes his saliva with hers. The girls are enraged by this act, which leads to Lynn's confessing her feelings for Touya and kissing him too. The other girls become agitated and nervous because they all want to kiss Touya and confess their love to him. Yumina approaches Touya later at the mansion and asks him to kiss and hug her tightly to reassure her. When she asks Touya what he thinks of Lynn's, Touya admits to liking Lynn's because she and the other girls were cute. Yae and Els also confess their love to Touya, which confuses him, so he returns to God for advice on what to do about the girls. God introduces him to Kami, the goddess of love, who gives him advice on what he should do. Touya then returns to the mansion and tells the girls that he will marry them one day, just not now. The recap for In Another World with My Smartphone has come to an end. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and share it with your fellow weebs. Also, don't forget to subscribe and we will see you in our next recap video. じゃあね. Bye bye. Bye. See ya.